it feels that the more that time goes on and the stories continue to develop, the future of Lopetegui at West Ham is just not looking very good, is it? The signs aren't great. They're just not great at all from what's being said within the club that's now being leaked to certain reporters and ITKs, all that kind of stuff. It just doesn't feel right at West Ham at the moment. And you can clearly see there's some sort of fractured relationships behind the scenes at the club. It's just not helping at all. Florian Plattenberg's, what I'm referring to is this tweet he's put up. I talked about him in a recent video, Plattenberg, and I've said that I felt that it was something that possibly came from Steidton, and possibly that Steidton, well, if it hadn't come from Steidton, he could stop it. It hadn't been. It's basically really undermining Lopetegui and his position, and it just feels like we're getting that again. And then we've had this now on Saturday morning, and this is from Plattenberg. So he said that the owners of West Ham continue to back Lopetegui. Tick. Oh, that sounds good. And then it again goes on, and you're like reading it, going, actually, which doesn't sound like he's being really well backed. However, the next 3 games leading up to the international break will be crucial for his future. Lopetegui is well aware of this. His strong work ethic is highly appreciated, but the team's progress has stalled. Well, there's been no progress, so I don't know what that means. It's not the team's nothing's progressed, has it, under Lopetegui so far? And then there's an alert in the background. Potential candidates are already being evaluated to be prepared. I don't really know what that means. I think that the club would be well aware of who they'd want to go for. We've just only appointed the guy not long ago, so I'm sure they will know who they're likely to go for next if they don't go for Lopetegui. I'm sorry, if they are to remove Lopetegui from his position. But it's not good. I mean, this is not. It's it's on the eve of a game as well, and a big game against Manchester United, where both managers are sort of under huge pressure regarding their jobs. It's just not ideal. It really doesn't help, this kind of stuff, and it's coming from him within the club. These noises, because these are highly respected journalists as well. Plattenberg, who works for Sky Sports Germany, and he's a sort of regarded as a sort of like quite high up in the know kind of guy. So at the end of the day, if it wasn't true, it could be put to bed. They could say, look, if you wanted to show a united front, you could say, look, West Ham are fully behind Lopetegui. They're not even entertaining the idea of him going. They're fully behind building this team and challenging for the Europe this season. They could send out a message like that, but that's not the message. And I feel like the more this goes on, it just feels like more inevitably Lopetegui's going to no longer be at West Ham at some point soon. It feels like the end is coming already for him. It's quite remarkable, actually. It really is. It's pretty stunning how things have deteriorated so far, fast. It's led as well, isn't it, to others then talking about other potential managers and head coaches, should I say? It's really difficult. I think it's a really difficult one. The thing is with West Ham when it comes to head coaches and managers and stuff, I just don't trust the club at all to get it right. I talked about that about Man United. If they're going to get rid of Ten Hag, who are they going to bring in? Man United. Do you trust them to bring in the right manager if you're a Man United fan? Of course not. I feel the same with West Ham. I don't have confidence. We've got an owner that always want someone that's available. You don't have to pay compensation for. You always want someone with Premier League experience. It just limits our options all the time. But the feeling is, of course, that if West Ham are to part ways with Lopetegui, this is a Sullivan appointment. So would Krasinski allow him again to have the final say? Possibly not. Maybe the board will say, look, Sullivan, you've now got to hand this over to Steidton. But let's be honest, the confidence levels in Steidton are wavering, aren't they? You start to think, well, does this guy really know what he's doing? Because he's demonstrated that he's shown incompetence this summer. We've got players that aren't working. We've got players that are so different from what we wanted originally to what we end up getting. So it always leaves a bit confusing. You've only got to look at the striker front for that as the most obvious. There's pressure on him as well. So yeah, it's a troublesome time at the moment. It feels at West Ham, and I just don't feel that the current what we're getting from the club, the noises from the club, that just aren't boding well at all in terms of the long-term future of Lopetegui. And as I say, then you've got other managers now being linked. And one of them is Jose Mourinho. So what I want to talk about in this video as well is the Mourinho link. So I think this actually came about because Mourinho said in a press conference about managing back in England and how he would like a club that wasn't in UEFA competition and he could get them there. He would take one from bottom of the league and that would be his next challenge. And something, I think he was just being typical Mourinho. He's quite a character, isn't he? He likes to sort of say certain things. And I'm not saying he won't ever do that. Fair play if that's what he wants to do. That's kind of his aspirations, I suppose. But what's come out of it was then, well, who's he referring to? What club's he referring to? Who would he go to? And I think it was Jason Cundy on TalkSport basically said, it's West Ham. It's got to be. West Ham's the perfect club for him. They're a club that's struggling. Big club, big stadium, London. He'll get them and he'll win them a trophy. And I think it sort of gained legs a little bit, that story. It's being like, oh, Mourinho to West Ham, it could happen. And it did get me thinking, actually. It's really strange because this is just me personally, I've always imagined that at some point, at some stage, Mourinho will be manager of West Ham. I've always just kind of had that in the back of my mind that he would be. And I always think back to his time at Chelsea. That's where my romance side of it with Mourinho is, like where he just came in with this charisma and this personality, and the media just fell head over heels for him. Everyone did, really. He was just this cool character, looked really cool with his suit on. He was something different that football hadn't seen really at that point, especially not in this country. And this sort of swagger that he had, and this bond he had with his players. He was on the pitch and giving it all that. He was in with the fans. He was chucking medals to the fans. All this sort of just an unbelievable character. Obviously, Chelsea legend, really. How well he did there. I know his relationship became a bit fractured over time because of moving on to other clubs and stuff. But so I've always kind of, when it's come to Mourinho and West Ham, I always thought, can you imagine if he just came in, if it was just a season, just come in for one season, go and win us an FA Cup or get us into top four or something. He's got something about him, Mourinho, still, isn't he? Because it's Jose Mourinho. One, if you just come in and it all just click into place, the players would love working for him and the fans would just take to him. I've always kind of got that childish fantasy feeling about it. Do you know what I mean, with Mourinho? Like I just sort of feel a bit like it's what I imagined it to have been like when he first came to England, but when he was at Chelsea. So maybe he'd do the same at West Ham. But when I actually put my brain on, though, when you actually think about it, it doesn't work. Mourinho and West Ham, no way I could see ever working. One, he doesn't play a decent style of football. Fans won't like his style of football, Mourinho. It's nicking 1-0s. It's not a pleasant style. It's very, very defensive minded. So that's first football call, which is on the pitch side of it. So I don't think he'd be winning over fans. I mean, obviously, if he came in and was winning everything, they might be slightly forgiven. But I don't think the fans would have taken that anyway. Second thing is as well, Mourinho and Sullivan. I mean, that is never going to work, ever. Can you imagine them two crying out loud? I mean, it's got a disaster written all over it, isn't it? Immediately. It would not work at all. Mourinho falls out of everyone. I mean, he'd fall out of Sullivan within 5 minutes. It would not be a pleasant relationship, that one at all. I just don't see how. And also, we know from previous, when we've been looking for other managers, Mourinho have been linked. He's always been linked with West Ham the last few years. We know from Sullivan's point of view, he doesn't like him. Like he doesn't think thinks his time's done, and finds him to be too controversial. And I get that. Sullivan, that's coming from David Sullivan. But yeah, do you know what I mean? He's too controversial, too much. And I agree. I don't see anything in that. But it is interesting. The reason I want to ask, I want to know what the fans think. What do you think about it? If Mourinho was considered a actual contender to replace Lopetegui, would it be something you're interested in? As I say, that sort of a little part of me always goes, "Oh, what if?" Just imagine what happened. Can you imagine that? Because imagine the circus surrounding it as well. There'd be so much attention on it. It'd be such a big appointment. There's always that part of me just kind of see. I wonder, just let it happen, to see how it would pan out. But sensible head on, no, I don't think it would be a wise move, really, at all. I think his days as being a sort of top manager are long gone. But look, this is a troublesome time. I don't like what we're getting here. The noise that the club are now looking at other head coaches that's coming from inside the club. I just don't like all this undermining. I really don't. This is not a good time. Not a good time. This was not what we were promised and what was on the agenda for this season, was it? We were expecting a exciting season, exciting new chapter, new head coach, new players, and all this stuff at West Ham. It feels like it's derailed, and it's derailing spectacularly. And I'll tell you what, not only that, it feels like we're on the cusp of a really bad season. This is where it all feels like it's heading towards. Look, we got a big game today, really big game against Manchester United, and one we just have to get something from. I think like if we lose to Manchester United at home, it's just going to ramp up that pressure, and I'm starting to see doom on the horizon. I really am. I don't see anything positive coming our way at the moment. I really don't. So we need a big performance, a big lift for the fans and everybody to sort of show that something's actually working with Lopetegui. Because at the moment, I'll tell you what, he's losing the fan base. He's losing everyone around him quickly, and including clearly people behind the scenes at West Ham.